Hi everyone, it's Ellen March with Sulky of America, and this is So What? And today we're going to be talking about all things home for the holidays. So I wanted to share with you a few things that I've been working on to kind of get ready for the holidays, Thanksgiving and Christmas included. Some really great fun patterns and projects that can kind of get you into the spirit. So be sure to start commenting and let me know where you're from, where you're watching from. I always like to chit chat with you, so drop me some questions as well, and I'll be answering them as we go along. So if you have any questions about what I'm talking about or any of the projects or products that I'll be discussing today, be sure to drop me a line so that you can get real-time answers. That's the fun of Facebook Live, right? Okay, so first thing I want to talk about is this really great table runner project that I thought I had right next to me, so bear with me for a second. I do have the great fabric that I used for the project to show you. Sorry, things are a little bit nutty because I just got back from Quilt Market. And if you saw our Facebook Live last week, I was actually on the show floor walking around like a crazy person, showing everybody all the different booths and, you know, just all around fun things to see and do at Quilt Market for those of you who don't have the privilege of getting to go. Sorry, I'm still sifting through what I thought I had right next to me. So bear with me just a moment. Okay, sheesh. You know, you think you're prepared and then something always happens, right? Okay, here we go. And if the dog would leave me alone, I swear, you know, she doesn't want to have anything to do with my office until I'm doing a live video. So here she is. I'll try and show her to you. Hello. Hello. Yeah, that's Leia. She's my pup. Okay. Anyway, what I want to start talking about is this table runner. Now, this table runner is a version of one of our most popular webinar projects. It was designed by the crafty Gemini, Vanessa Wilson. If you're unfamiliar with her, we'll put we'll tag her in this post so that you can go and like her page. But she does really, really great, seemingly complex quilt patterns that are actually really super simple. And even beginners can tackle these projects because she arms you with all the tutorials and products that you need for great results. Some of those are sulky threads, of course. So this project is called the Pinnacle Table Runner, and Vanessa did this project in sort of the spring summertime and featured all these different great coordinating sort of rainbow fabrics, all solids, and it's a really, really cool project. So we reimagined that project and added some embroidery to it, and we reran the webinar with some patriotic themed fabrics. And so we kitted that up, and man, that sold like hotcakes. So we wanted to sort of reimagine it again. So now you'll have a summer version, or a spring version rather, the summer version, which is patriotic. Now we've got our winter version, okay? So this one is featuring all coordinating fabrics from Art Gallery Fabrics. Now, I love me some Art Gallery fabrics, okay? They are just super high quality. The designers are fantastic. I just love what the company is all about as well, so I love to support them. But these are from the Bundle Up bundle at Art Gallery Fabrics. And we have bundled these up ourselves to give you 5-inch charm squares that you need to create this lovely table runner. Okay, and you could see they're kind of non-traditional holiday prints, which is really great because you can make it before the holidays and still have it out after the holidays because, you know, winter goes on forever in some states. But at any rate, the snowflakes on here that I added are all out of metallic thread. So it adds a little bit of sparkle to the table, and they're just kind of subtle, but you know, give you a little bit of shine. And so what I did was I chose different intersections of fabrics to add the snowflakes. So not only do they add a decorative element, but they also actually help to flatten those kind of bulky seam intersections. So they're a little bit dual purpose, these snowflakes. And then I quilted the whole thing using sulky invisible thread. I love quilting with invisible thread, especially sulky invisible thread, because it is like polyester, okay? It's not going to melt. You can iron right over it. It is super simple to sew, and I've just never had a problem with it. Now, when you are using invisible thread in the bobbin, which I used it in the bobbin and on the top, you want to wind your bobbin a little bit slower than normal. And I don't ever fill the bobbin with invisible thread. You don't want it to kind of stretch, I guess, while it's winding, and just less bobbin thread in there is going to just give you less problems, okay? That's just with my experience. So the Winter Pinnacle Table Runner kit is available at sulky.com. You will get your art gallery fabric coordinates, which these are a little bit bigger. They aren't cut to size, but in the kit, they are already cut to the 5.5-inch squares. So you'll get a sampling of this collection. I mean, it's got the cute little snowflakes. I love this print with the little deer antlers and foxes and, you know, wonderland creatures, and some holly and evergreen branches, some trees, things like that. So I love this fabric bundle. It's actually a combination of a lot of different designers' prints all pulled together into one. So it's really cool. Also with the kit, you get Vanessa's, the Crafty Gemini's 5-inch slicer ruler. Now, you really need this to complete the project in an efficient way and accurate way. And Vanessa designed this ruler and created this project so that you could see how easy it is to use these specialty rulers to create a number of different things. So with this table runner, you can see that we've got little peaks, and then we've got sort of the opposite of that block. So you can rearrange these in a number of different ways to create an entire quilt. You can create different sorts of placemats. You can create this table runner any way you like. And on the free webinar, which we'll put a link to the free webinar as well, you can see how Vanessa lays this out in about 5 or 6 different ways, I want to say. This is the one that she ended up doing for the webinar, but obviously when you're creating your own, you can make it your own. You can take some inspiration from how she laid out her blocks and use your 5-inch slicer ruler, which is also, we also sell this separately. So if you want to try out these blocks, you can also just get the ruler, but you know, of course, get the kit because you're going to get all these fabrics. And who doesn't love a kit that includes all of the fabrics already pre-cut for you? You know, you'll still need to use your slicer ruler to make those V cuts, but having everything already cut into a 5-inch square just saves you so much time. Now, you will need some background fabric and some backing fabric, and I just used a plain like off-white, as you can see. I used the off-white and then off-white on the back. And I apologize that this is looking really wrinkly, but I had it stuffed in a box from Quilt Market, so it needs to be kind of blocked out and steamed. But at any rate, love this project. I hope you do too. Give me a thumbs up or You know, start liking this post if you like this project too, so I can see. Also, what comes with the kit, which is a really great value, is a 10 spool pack of sulky rayon thread. Now, this is going to be for your embroideries that you're adding to, excuse me, the table runner. And I used, you know, the silver metallic. This also comes with some hollow shimmer, which is like a flat metallic thread. And included is also the original metallic, which is the round metallic thread. Now, if you are someone who is afraid of embroidering or even just sewing with metallic thread, fear not, because we have a ton of tutorials to guide you through how to set up your machine for success. Now, first off, you're going to need a metallic needle. Also, a top stitching needle can also help. Okay, but I suggest using a 9014 metal organ needle, and we have those available on our site as well. With that needle, it's going to help with the friction that is created by the metallic thread, and it's going to just make it so much smoother and better. Now, if you're using the flat hollow shimmer or sliver metallic thread by Sulky, you might want to think about adding a spool pin adapter to your purchase. Okay, these are also at sulky.com. A spool pin adapter is going to put your spool in the correct position so that the thread flows off of it in the right direction and it's not going to twist on its way to meeting the needle. Okay, that's what causes metallic thread breakage most of the time if you're using the proper needle. So the spool pin adapter, you want to make sure it's compatible with your machine brand. You need to have a vertical spool pin for it to sit on. If you don't, there are ways that you can adapt the adapter so that it kind of sits next to you on a vertical stand. So yeah, you can also mount it onto the bobbin winder because that is going vertically on most machines. Now I have the Husqvarna Viking Epic 2. You could see I've got two vertical spool pins right here, one next to each other. My bobbin winder is along the side of the machine. All right, so I could use this on either one of these. It just is going to reduce the probability of tangles and of your thread twisting on its way to the needle. Now, I will be honest and say, when I work with Sulky Original Metallics, I don't have a problem with my thread breaking ever. If I'm using the correct needle, the original metallic sews like a traditional rayon thread for me. Now, if you have a different experience, please comment because I want to have a discussion and I want to guide people through how to sew this thread without headaches. Because if you're not sewing with metallic threads because you are fearful of your experience or fearful of breakage or things like that, you know, we want to make sure you're having the best experience possible. We don't want you to have a table runner that has non-sparkly snowflakes on it. What a tragedy that would be. So drop us a line, and if you are watching the feed a little bit later when we're not live, you can always email us and we are happy to help you in any of your projects and using any of the Sulky products. Okay, so that is our Winter Pinnacle Table Runner kit, and I just want to discuss a couple more things with you. We have a webinar coming up. It's next Tuesday with Carly Porter. Carly Porter is known as the graffiti quilter. She has a really modern aesthetic. She does a lot of designs that are free motion stitching onto quilts, using lettering designs to make a statement on your works of art. And she's going to show us how to create really cool lettering compositions. So if you're a fan of the chalkboard art that's really popular right now, and doing different styles of lettering for signs and things like that, she's going to teach us how to create those compositions and then how to stitch them out with needle and thread. So we're going to learn actually 3 different ways of doing this. We will learn about her free motion style. We will learn how to do these, how to stitch these with hand embroidery techniques. And then we're also going to learn how to do machine embroidery to make those hand embroidery designs even faster. And what's great is we're ultimately creating a postcard project and using some really cute lettering designs. Now you can quilt these postcards to your heart's content. You can even use the postcard design and make it into a pillow or a bigger wall hanging. But these are really great gift ideas, okay? You can make this postcard and package it up with a, package of coffee and a mug, something like that. And you're adding something a little bit homemade to an otherwise purchased gift. So I love these ideas, and we can create them assembly line style, which is one of my favorite things about machine embroidery. So I will say I have been working on this kind of hand lettered Texas design. This is a little sneak peek, and you could see how many revisions I have done to the design just with pencil right over the sulky stick and stitch. And it's because I'm not really satisfied with how the lettering is coming across. I'm just not able to sort of I can visualize it, but I can't really get it onto the pattern. So I'm really excited about this webinar to learn how to put all of those thoughts onto a design and have the result that I'm looking for. So I hope you'll join us. We will put a link into the comments so you can register for the webinar right now. Make sure that you're registered, and that way you can get access to all of our freebies and goodies and all that stuff. So that's a little bit sneak peek. We'll talk more about that next week as well. I also wanted to let you all know, if you have been joining me on our birthstone sew-alongs on the Sulky blog, each month I am doing a birthstone quilt block. We are featuring these patterns by MJ Kinman, and they're all kitted up with all the Paintbrush Studio fabrics that you need, as well as all the Sulky threads you need in order to quilt these beauties. And I'll be working on the November citrine block, as you can see in my hand here. So it looks really daunting. They are a little bit challenging, I won't lie, but they are really fun and they end up being so beautiful. So I'm on my way to creating my second mini quilt, because this will be the 7th block that I've done. So ultimately, we will all do 12 blocks together, and we will end up with enough to create a full-size quilt, okay? Or you can do like I'm doing and have 3 mini quilts. All depends on what you like. But at any rate, grab the November citrine kit so that you can join me on the sew along. I'll be posting it, I think, later next week. I have to have time to get it all together. So grab yours so that you can sew along, and I'll be giving you my tips and tricks for piecing all these little pieces together. It is a paper piecing pattern, so you really do need to grab up this pattern, and you could see how many different colors of thread and colors of fabric are involved, so it's really handy to just grab up a kit. Okay, so I think that's it for my updates today. Thanks everybody for joining me. And again, I will see you next week, where we talk a little bit more about Carly Porter and our webinar and some more things that are on deck for November and December holiday sewing. Have a great day.